Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me on today's session. Today, I have with me. All right, thank you for joining me in today's session. Today, I have with me a guest, and this is not just a mean guest, this is someone that I go way back with, and we are still in touch with each other. This is someone that I sat in the very same class with. Okay, so this is no stranger that I brought on board today. This is someone who can give us the truth, nothing but the truth, on how to acquire full scholarship, or even to share a personal experience on how she acquired a scholarship to study in the UK. So I'm not going to talk too much. I'm going to invite her to start sharing her story with us. We are live right now on Facebook, YouTube, X, and also let me just bring this in. We just listed on Spotify, Apple Podcast. We are on Listen Notes, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Deezer, Amazon Music, Samsung Podcast, and many other podcasts that you can tune in and listen. Maybe you drive to work and you cannot watch the video, but at least you can turn on Spotify and then stream whatever we are discussing. And I believe that's going to go a long way to be insightful and then impactful in your life with regards to wanting to study abroad. So I'm going to bring her on stage as she shares her story with us. Hi, Bridget. How you doing?
Hi, Daniel. I'm fine. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's been a while since I
Yeah,
left Fargo.
yeah. I hope
How
you
you
are good.
guys coping?
Oh, I'm fine. We are doing well.
Awesome, awesome. All right. So yeah, I realized that, we in fact I saw on your we are going to talk about that later. I don't want to bring it right now, but I'm going to bring it up. And you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so tell us about your history, where you're coming from, what brought you to America.
Okay, so I'm Bridget, and I'm Bridget Chuku. Okay, I had my bachelor's degrees in University of Nigeria, Nsukka, Economics Department. Um, in 2023, I came to the United States and for my master's program in applied economics. Okay, and I have before then I acquired 5 years working experience, and
Okay.
after decided to further my academics because I felt it was necessary I do that. Of course, at every point in time in our lives, we actually want to grow, right? So
Yeah.
I needed to further my academics, right? So I had to come
Right.
for the program.
Right. Right. So, uh, a lot of people have been wanting to travel abroad. Okay. And what do you think should be like the motivating factor for them to travel? Because some would be like, okay, me, I just want to run away from a bad economy. I just want to do this. What do you think should be that motivating factor that should push people to pursue study abroad opportunities?
Okay, so for me personally, my major, what really pushed me actually to go for my master's program, like to study abroad, was majorly like the opportunities because I'm a very goal oriented person, and
Right.
I'm also career oriented as well. And I knew
Mm-hmm.
that of the companies I would like to work with are having their headquarters here. So the only way, one of
Right.
the ways
Right.
being competitive is actually to pursue my master's program here. And that was why I decided that okay, since I want to work with these people, I want to achieve this, I want to achieve that within a certain period of time. One of the best ways to actually do that is to leave Nigeria. My Nigeria might not really give me what I
Mm-hmm.
want. Yeah. So I needed to go to
Okay.
like a way advanced, like a developed country like United States to actually do my masters. Yeah. So that was one of the major reasons. Yeah. Aside others. Yeah, I know a lot of people want to say, okay, it's the Japa period. We left because of
Everybody's trying to.
too hard. Let's all leave. But for me, yeah, that could be like a secondary reason, okay, because I
Right,
was doing,
right.
yeah, I was doing well in Nigeria, but I just knew that there was something really lagging. There was something really lacking that I really need to feel. And one
Hmm.
actually the reason was actually to attain more, or rather to get more opportunities. And one of the countries that we know are like known for the land of opportunities, actually United States of America, right? So I
Yeah,
needed to,
that's true.
do the whole process and then get into it. So that was actually one of my reasons.
Yeah, because this place is the land of opportunity, and I think that sometimes you really need to check the kind of motivations that
Mhm.
bring us here. Because when you are engaging in research work, doing your thesis and all that, the professors can actually tell your passion,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
passionate you are about the thing that you said you are coming to research on, your enthusiasm, your involvement. But if you are coming here based on the wrong motivations, that, oh, me, I just want to jackpot, I just want to
Mm,
come and make money,
mm-hmm,
right? You don't put that much effort
mm-hmm,
because, that is why US dropped their 40 hours per week. They used to give students 40 hours per week to work, but then they dropped it to 20
yeah.
because they realized that, oh, students were looking for money, especially people coming from developing countries. They were looking for money instead of
Mm,
pursuing the academics and focusing on education and getting better grades. So they saw
mm,
that grades were dropping. They're like, oh, okay. It's like the motivations of the students have shifted. They've seen
yeah,
dollars now.
yeah,
So they've
yeah.
forgotten about their books.
Mm.
All right. So tell us, what are some of the challenges that you faced when you were trying to look for a school? Because I want people to really get to know the hard work that they're supposed to do on the ground. Did you go through some kind of hard process of finding a school, or it came to you so easy?
Okay. Thank you for that question. So, before I answer that, I would want to tell you guys that I'm very big on do it yourself. Like I'm very big on it. Do it yourself
Right.
because trust me,
DIY.
I think your America, the process to coming into America is just like one of the lot, one of the numerous applications that you're going to go through. And if you are
Right.
going to start with trying to give it to an agent to do it for you, I wouldn't advise that because there might be a very significant error the person might actually do that you wouldn't have done if you had done it yourself. Okay,
That's
so
true.
it's really a rigorous process. Trust me, it's going to be very stressful. It's a very stressful process, and you know, starting from getting your transcript from your universities and
Hmm.
being in a country that the system is not really, encouraging as much as, and trying to get your transcript, everybody's trying to milk you of some kind of money. The economy is not even easy right now.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to
The
gain from you.
agents in quotes.
Yeah, exactly. Talking to your supervisors for a letter of recommendation, down to writing your CVs, to your SOPs, editing,
Yeah.
criticism, um um down to even getting admission, getting rejections, the emotional trauma when you get a rejection after paying a lot of money to get that school. Okay, and then you get a rejection, down to after getting accepted, getting a visa. It's really a lot of process, trust me, but it is really worth it. Okay, so it's more like
Yes.
I passed through that process because personally I'm going to still go for another program after this, my current program. So
Right.
we're all in the phase of trying to get into the get new program. So it's not an easy process, trust me. I don't know anybody that says it's easy, maybe, I don't know, but it's not an easy process. So you have to really make up your mind if you really want to do this journey, which that is actually worth it. Make up your mind to actually start it, take that step. Yeah, I know it's easy, it's not easy, but it is worth it, right? So yeah, even a gold, right? For you to make a gold really look very appealing, it has to go through a lot of processes, right? So you have to be ready to
The
actually do the work.
fitting and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I have someone who came to me, was like, Danny, I want a scholarship to study abroad. And I was like, okay, I have a PDF that lists all the schools in US. It's on my Telegram page. Open it and just do your research. Guess what? After 2 days when I checked that, oh, the thing, if you don't guide me, I can't do it. Oh. And I was like, these are the videos, these are the audios. I have them all ready. This is the
Mm,
PDF. Look through. These are the courses. Look at these schools and check them out. But he didn't do it. And I was like, then you don't really mean to study.
very easy.
You see, Otherwise, if you come here, what kind of effort are you going to put into research if you can't even research for your own self? How are you going to research for a professor? You know. So these are some of the
Mm-hmm.
challenges we face
Mm-hmm.
when dealing with trying to motivate people. I feel like I should not even motivate you to do it. You should be motivated by yourself to pursue your own
Yeah,
dreams
of course.
because no one is going
Of
to
course.
chase your dreams for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. No one's going to chase it for you. Just like Asake said in his song that no one can chase it for me, right? Yeah. Yeah, so that is it. You have to go through it. Right. So yes, I know, when we're in class, we used to talk about, oh, I miss my husband, I wish my husband were here. How did you go through that challenge of having to relocate alone, right? Relocate alone and then be able to survive through that trying period. How did you do it? Because I
Okay.
know some students also leave their family, they leave their
Yeah.
husbands, their wives, their kids, and they come to school. So how did
Yeah.
you navigate that process?
Okay. So I know that a lot of people have to leave their partners or their kids to come here, of course, for greener pastures. Yeah,
Right.
of course. That's the that's one of the reasons why we're here. It's for greener pastures, right?
Yeah.
So one
Yeah.
thing that kept me going was I noticed when I came here, I was, you know, it was quite emotional for me, first few months and all that. But of course, my partner was always very consistent with what he says and was telling me it's
Hmm.
for a good cause, right? So, like
Right.
what Danny said, if you are conscious why you are here, you are conscious of why you are chasing your dreams, that keeps you going. So he keeps
Yes.
reminding me, you know why you are here, right? So it's for a good cause and it's for the family. So it's more like that was one of the statement that kept me going. Even when I felt down, it felt like okay, I need more emotional support and all that. It kept me
Right.
going. So and today he's here, right? He's here
Yeah.
actually here with me. So the point is, yeah, your purpose, hold on to what keeps you going. If you're able
Yeah.
to hold on to it, when come along the line, you just know that okay, things have to come. There's always joy at the end of the tunnel, right? So
Hmm.
that was just my. And another thing was the people I had around me made it
The
easy.
people you had
When you have
around you.
frustrating people around you, it could make it very difficult settling in. Yeah, so people I had around me helped me in terms of other kind of supports like academic support, settling in supports and all that. So they really helped. So that really helped me like settle in faster than I thought I could. Yeah.
Right. That is good. So even we that host podcasts like these, we are also kind of acting as the virtual people around people attempting to come.
Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
sometimes if you don't have anybody, at home who is motivating you, at least somebody online
Online
can
is
be,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm happy that he's here because now we are also free now.
Everybody's
Yes, we are free now. Now there's
yeah.
peace. So since he's here,
Yeah.
yeah, that's good for us too. All right. So I want to find out what schools did you apply to? People want to know. They want to. Sometimes they listen because they want recommendations. So what are some of the schools that you applied to, and what are some of the challenges that you faced when you applied to these schools?
Okay. Okay. So for the schools I applied to North Dakota State University. I applied to Georgia State University. I applied to University of Washington, Georgetown. I applied to University of Arkansas, and I got admission in University of Arkansas, but I didn't get funding. I got admission in Georgia State University. I didn't get funding. I got
Right.
admission University of Washington, Georgetown. I got partial funding, I think about 60%. And North Dakota State University gave me a full funding. Although that was my least preferred, but because of course I needed to go to a school with full funding, um, that was why I had to go with North Dakota State University. So one of the challenges was trying to get those schools was more like information, because not all schools that put on their platform give funding to students actually give 100% funding. Yeah, if you see they give funding to students, it could be 60%, it could be 40%. They are all funding, right? But what we
Right.
aim for yeah, especially coming from a country like a developing country like Nigeria, Ghana, and the rest of them, what we most times aim for is a full funded scholarships, right? Because imagine changing your currency to dollars, you will not survive it. Trust me. So
Right,
it's
right. So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
tough.
yeah. It's best you look for schools that will give you a full fund. And one of those ways to actually get them is through through information from people already here. Once you already
Right.
know your course and it's in full funding, the best way to actually apply to those schools, because you are sure somebody there has a full funding. Like my first program I'm going to apply to, I will have to apply to schools that I'm sure that somebody is there,
That you're sure. Good.
yeah, and has a full funding. And there are a lot of ways to actually navigate these things. Trust me, there are a lot of ways to actually know. You mustn't have them in
Mhm.
your contact list. You mustn't have them on a group or whatsoever. But there are ways to actually navigate them. Okay, yeah,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I like the fact that you said you should be sure that you are going to get some funding because for me, before I came here, there was someone who was already schooling here on full scholarship. That was like, hey, you know what? Try this program. At the time, it was even a PhD. And you know our department, how our PhD, has been
yeah.
through turmoil.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And it was a PhD, and it was like, oh, it's starting afresh. Oh, then you apply for this thing. It's open. You can get it. But at the time I was ready to apply because I delayed like a year, right? I delayed like a year before I applied. I just was so focused on doing something for myself in Ghana. So
Yeah.
when I was ready to apply, I realized that the program had closed because it was just like on and off, on and off. And then
Oh,
the master's program had opened, the one that we both came in. And
yeah.
then I was like, okay, let me take this opportunity. And then I applied and I'm here. Okay.
Mm,
So sometimes you have to pick from people that you know have had full scholarship in that school.
yeah.
With my previous guest last week, Francis, he had full scholarship. So if somebody like wants to attend his school, he can look at him and be like, oh, this guy had full scholarship. So you know what? I can just capitalize on that and also apply to that same school and probably I'll get a full scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
Now, guys, at this point in time, I just want to remind you that we have Spotify, we have Apple Podcasts. Just search for the Study Abroad Experience Podcast, and you're going to see me pop up. And then you can listen. Like I said, you may be driving and you can't watch the video. You can always listen, and it will be very insightful for you. So let us talk about your first impressions of the US. How did you see US when you came here? When you come here from Nigeria?
So, personally, when I came to the US, have you ever tried to drive a particular car, and then when you get the car, do you know that excitement that comes,
Yeah.
even or even as basic as the clothes that you've always wished to wear or something, and then when you
Hmm.
wear, you know how you'll be so excited. So that was
Yeah.
how that was there. That the excitement was way more than that. I can't really express it with words. After a whole lot of hard work, a whole lot of hard work. The funny thing was, when I was even living in Nigeria, I was not even bothered about anything. It was when I came into America, that was when I now everything dawned on me. I'd left my family, I left my husband, everything was dawning on me. Everything just weighed me down. But the first impression was more like, oh God, this is a land of peace. Everywhere was,
Yeah.
more. There's no light. You know how we suffer a lot of light issues in Nigeria.
Yeah.
That alone, a lot of joy. So it was a peaceful place for me. Yeah, it was peaceful, and my location was okay. School environment. The whole thing we hear about America doesn't happen around here. The whole violence and all
Right.
that doesn't happen. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was really
Yeah.
me. Yeah, yeah. It was more like you're actually on your own. Like for example, where I'm currently staying, I don't know my neighbors, right? So because
Yeah.
it's a place of
It's like
your
everybody is inside, right?
mind your business. So you
Yeah. Mind
barely
your business.
yeah, like walking. You barely see that. Yeah. So it's more like mind your business. Just be on your own. Don't look for anybody's trouble and all that. So it was
Yeah.
actually a different place for me compared to what I already know. Back at home.
Hmm.
Yeah. Was it
Because
actually?
back at home, you could just like enter someone's house, like your friend's house, without even
Ex-
announcing,
Exactly. Yeah.
and just go and just.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was a different environment and all that. Yeah.
Oh, nice, nice.
Hmm.
So, guys, if you're watching this, like the video, I'm speaking with Bridget, who is an international student. She was my former classmate. But I think you have how many semesters more? Just one?
Just 1 year.
Just one, yes. So she's almost done with school. So it means that she has gathered some wealth of experience. And Chuku Blessing is saying she knows it's not easy, but God will help me through you, Miss Bridget. Oh, yes, you have a couple of people already supporting you and wanting your mentorship.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. She's also Chuku, so I'm guessing she's from the same place. All right. Yeah. Okay. So we've spoken about your first impressions of the US. Oh, let me even check this in. I remember when I came fresh, right? I saw it was snowing because I came in January. It was like January 9th and it was snowing. And I saw
Yeah.
a rabbit running around the street. And I was like, wow, just
Yeah.
like that. In
Yeah.
my country, that rabbit will be in some soup. But look at the way he's just running off freely and the kind of respect that they have for even animals. All those things were like a cultural shock to me. I'd seen it on TV, but it was different seeing it like in real life and in real time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So I have this question. What are some of the biggest challenges that you have faced as an international student? You know, you are multitasking, you are working and all that, studying, right? And studying is work in America. So how are you multitasking everything as a student?
Okay, so one thing I know was is kind of challenging. I think it should be for every graduate student is that you have a lot going on at the same time and you have deadlines to meet. Like currently I have like almost 10 things I have to do at the same time, like every single day. Like you have a lot going on at the same time. And one of the ways to actually help your life or help your yeah, help you actually overcome these challenges, like kind of to have some to-do list every single day.
Right.
Prioritize your list. You know, if you say you want to do this core application, send code mails, talk to professors, edit your CV, edit your SOP, send your SOP for criticisms. You know, if you know you have a lot of things to do, trust me, what you are currently experiencing in your country right now or where you are right now is a bit, is like 5% of what you're going to experience when you come here. So if you notice, a lot of people you
Wow.
here in abroad, they'll tell you, "Oh, I was sorry, I was busy." They're actually busy because there are a lot of things to
Hmm.
do. Yeah, so it's more like prioritize what you have to do, okay, and try not to miss deadlines because they take deadlines serious. You hardly see a deadline that is
Yeah,
being
they take it
extended.
very serious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they take it serious. Once it's a deadline, is that's the deadline. They don't extend. They barely extend deadlines. So you have to really be on top of your game. You know, it's kind of challenging, trust me. You know, trying to even do my master's program, do my thesis at the same time, trying to apply for
Yeah.
graduate. That's so what you're currently doing is just one of what I'm actually doing. You know, so
Yeah.
I'm having on my plate right now. So um me being here is just because I love you guys and we really want a lot of us to
Yeah.
actually and for a better life, okay, for our countries as well, because I know we'll all go back someday. Yeah, so
Oh, yes. Yes. Eventually.
yeah, we'll all go back someday. So
Yeah.
we of us to be here, you know, so that we can chase the bag together and all of that. Yeah, so it's kind of challenging trying to do a lot of things at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And we really appreciate you spending time
Yeah.
with us here. I know it's just maybe someone might say, oh, it's just like 1 hour. No, it's not just 1 hour. In America, time is money.
Mm-hmm.
Time is a very valuable place. So we really appreciate you for sharing that time with us. Now,
Welcome.
so are you serving as a TA, a teaching assistant, or an RA?
Okay. Thank you for that question. So I'm currently an RE and
Okay, which is the research, right?
research assistant, yeah. And for me, from what I've heard from people who have actually done TAs, they will tell that oh they prefer they were RAs. Research assistants are, I don't know, sometimes you don't have that opportunity to actually pick which you want to be because sometimes school
Right.
give you and tell you okay you're going to be a teacher
It's too
assistant,
easier. Yeah.
and okay you'll be a research assistant, right? So when I came, I got a research assistantship role, and luckily my work is my thesis. So if I don't
Right.
do my thesis, so I think mine is just one of the rare good cases. I know some RAs are more strenuous than mine, so
Hmm.
TAs are not. They really go through. I don't know whether to say they go through a lot, but they are really trying. You know when you have to
Yeah, they're
prepare
trying.
for your students. You have to
Yeah.
present.
And you have to be learning and, get ahead of the students every time.
Exactly. You and yeah, ahead of the student. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we don't even go ahead of our own classes.
Of our
Of
own self.
ourselves. The students,
Yeah.
you have to go ahead of them, right?
Yeah.
And then you have to grade. So it's just a lot for them. Trust me, current
Mm.
students are going through a lot, but sometimes we just want to come here, which is way better than our current state.
Yeah.
So it's more like we said, make up your mind. You have to really make up that mind that whatever it comes out of it, you are ready for it. Okay, even if I change a school and then they give me a TA, that I'll have to adapt to it. I don't have a choice, right?
Yeah, you have to.
I have to. I don't have a
That's
choice.
true.
That's what they're paying me for, right? Um, so me being an RA was kind of like, I don't know. I see I'm enjoying what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying what
Yeah.
I'm. Yeah. So yeah. So that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was in Ghana like this, I was wishing to become a TA because I've always had a knack to teach.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
wanted to
True.
to be a TA, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to do this research thing. Nah, I just want to teach. I just want to teach.
You
I
thought
remember doing our study groups. They say Danny is the one teaching today. Bridget
yeah.
will be on my case.
Yeah.
Danny,
Yeah.
in fact, tell them about it.
So we actually okay. So one thing that I know helped me my first semester to overcome graduate school challenge. When you come there, you have a lot of anxiety, you have a lot of fear. When coming in. So you one of the things you lean on to is support around you. And one of the greatest supports I had was three of my departmental mates. And Danny was part of them. I had Mawina and I had Akoto. So they were all Ghanaians and they always yab me that I'm a Nigerian, and then imagine always
and,
on me.
and teasing about
I
Nigerians
am
a lot.
very, I don't know how to stand up for myself, so I was there attacking them, but they always come. But that was one of my greatest experiences I had while I was here because we all read together. So that's why, just in case Danny doesn't pop up this question before the life ends, I want to tell you that please try to go to schools that have your country's community. Okay, if you see this
Very,
school,
very, very important.
Nigerian community, a huge Nigerian community, please go there. That should be one of your criteria in picking the schools you want to go to. Nigerian community or Ghanaian community is one of the most amazing things you can actually get when you're here. Like my current flatmates are two Nigerians. Okay, it still gives
Hmm.
me this home feeling. We talk to ease off that stress. When we leave the door, we are firing
Yeah.
back to grade school stress. So go to where you have and of course Nigerians and Ghanaians sometimes we call ourselves brothers. Since the
Oh, yeah.
war of jollof and Ghanaian
We
jollof,
have a
we
friendly
have that war.
banter.
That's what unites us together, right? So
Yeah.
so we read together. So Danny, most times Danny, you have more skills in doing this teaching thing. Please allow us to do the research
Yeah.
thing. Interest. So Danny, he teaches us and they will contribute, so we do our
Yeah.
assignments together. So it's fun. It was fun, when you're having fun while trying to study. That's one of the collabo. So
Yeah.
it's
Na
yeah,
collabo. Yeah.
now collabo. So yeah, so it's good to have a community of your fellow Nigerians. Yeah, because these Americans, yeah, Americans are good at studying in isolation, but we are not used to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
To
Yeah. We
study.
like to study alone. Yeah.
Yeah, so that deviation from you studying in groups to being isolated is a huge what they call it, a huge you are moving to
Transition.
from one, what you're not used to what you are
Yeah.
used to. So it's really good to go to a school that have community of even Nigerians, Ghanaians, even Africans, African community. It helps, right? It really, really
Yeah.
helps. Yeah. So that was what helped us. And Danny was, part of my journey. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for acknowledging me. I like
Yeah.
to be low key, but I'll take it.
Amazing.
Yeah. So, oh yeah. So because for me, I had never done research work. Okay, so to be given that position as a research assistant, I was like, whoa, how am I going to do this? How I've not even done research before. Even my undergrad, the research we did research, but it was like it was primary data where you had to go out and collect data. And I remember once I was going for data and then a dog chased me, so I had to run away from the from the house. We're just going to collect data from the lectures places. Okay.
Hmm.
So I didn't really enjoy the kind of research experience I had. So to be given that position, I felt like this is going to be very challenging. And one of the things that I want to assure you guys is that grad school will be challenging for
Yeah.
those coming because you're already used to your local Nigerian or Ghanaian or African or Asian system of studying or learning. And then you are transitioning to something very new. So
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be very challenging for you. You have to like double up your efforts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Guys, you just tuned in to the Study Abroad Experience podcast. I'm speaking with Bridget, who is an international student from Nigeria. I see some of her fans have joined, and then sending in. Chuku George says, "Good work, Bridget." And then Philo says, "Learning a lot." And then George says, "Bridget, well done." At this point, if you have any questions, you can also put them in the comment section. I'm going to take them, and then Bridget is going to answer them. If she needs help with the answers, I also come in to help. Now, I want to ask this. What are the golden tips that you have for international students who are looking for financial support?
Okay. Thank you for that
So
question.
somebody is coming, yes. Should he maybe contact a professor, email, like what should they do? Please
Okay,
give us some tips.
so, like I said, one good thing is to have information at your table or at your tips, because that's one thing that will really help you here. Because you might just be throwing stones in an ocean without catching any, or rather, throwing your nest without catching any fish. So, um,
Right.
yeah. So one thing is try to get information about where you're applying to. So one golden tip I'm going to actually mention is LinkedIn is one of the uh kind of underrated app. I would say underrated because some people don't. They tell you LinkedIn is underrated. So LinkedIn is very important. A lot of people upload,
LinkedIn. Okay.
or yeah, upload their status there, what they are currently doing. Okay, so you could go to LinkedIn, chat, send messages to people who are currently in schools that you're planning to apply to and in that department. Ask them questions. Are they funding here? Most people here really want to share information, except there's some outliers. But some people really want to give you information. Go to LinkedIn, chat them up. Okay, please, I want to apply to this. Are they funding here? That's one golden rule. Even if you didn't get take anything from
Mm,
this life, take this home, right? Because the idea of this whole life is so that we can actually, give out some information, give out some tips on how to go about this. Go to LinkedIn,
yes.
message people, and there's some list of schools that actually go around, that about funding, scholarships, and all that. Stick to those rules. Some things are not on Google. Trust me. Some things about
Thank you. I like that point. Some
yeah,
things are not on Google.
yeah, they're not on Google. If you ask me about my school, I'll tell you some things I don't know on Google. They're not on Google, and I will tell you because I am here. So
Yeah.
utilize
First
your
hand.
LinkedIn profile, LinkedIn. Utilize LinkedIn. Chat people up. People are ready to help because they know they were once in this your process. They were once in this your shoes, and they know how it hurts. So they want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So before you shoot your application to any school, don't just waste your money. Ask
Mm,
questions. Because you don't want to apply to schools that don't have funding. Because when it comes, you will not go. So why waste your
mm,
money? Don't waste your
true.
money. Apply to schools you are sure will give you funding. At least let's know that the department didn't give you, but they usually give. Okay, so that's one
Yes.
very good rule I'm going to give. So before you apply to any school, go to LinkedIn. LinkedIn is one of the most easily accessible. It's free. You can open your
Yeah.
account. It's free. Yeah, it's
It's
one of
free.
the accessible apps. Yeah. So go there, ask question. Okay, please, your department. My name is Days. I'm planning to apply to University of North Dakota State University. This give a little bit of a profile so that the person can even be interested to even respond. Okay, please, I want to ask if they give full funding. So ask questions and the person is ready to respond. Okay, so that's just my top golden rule. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. So number one, use LinkedIn. Some
Yeah.
of us, after we created a LinkedIn profile, we've never been there again. It's
Mhm.
like your profile is like 3 years in cobwebs. So please revisit and then polish yourself, polish your profile, and then start doing. Even if you're not going to be posting, you can be doing research with a platform, right? I believe so. Yes. And then
Mhm.
she said that some things are not found on Google. That is true. This school came to me from a friend. I never knew North Dakota State
Mhm.
University. I knew
Mhm.
the state, but I didn't even know the university, right? So some of these things you will not find it on Google. And that's why it's very expedient that you join some of these shows and then hear names of schools that you've never even heard before, where there are possibly opportunities for you to explore. Okay. All right. So I believe you are learning a lot. If you have tuned in, please like the video. Just take 1 second to like the video and also share with your friends. But can you tell us about the accommodation situation as a student when you arrived fresh in the States? How did you go about it? Was
Okay.
there anybody to support you and all that stuff?
Okay, so I'm going to talk about my own experience and I also talk about my husband's experience. Yeah, I'm sure even without asking him, I'm sure when you talk about it. Yeah, so
Yes.
my kind of smooth. I would give shout out to Femi, Femi. Yeah, he was one of the persons that made North Dakota a home for me. He really did a lot for
Mm,
me in terms of trying to link me up with somebody who I would stay with. Yeah,
right.
because housing in America is crazy. Like it's not easy to get a house here. Sometimes they tell you need a
Mm.
resident, you need somebody that is already a green card holder. And how do you want to get? Sometimes you don't even have family. You're just coming here. Yeah. So sometimes like
Alone.
you don't know anybody.
You
Like
don't
I
know
said,
anybody. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know anybody. You're just coming here. So how do they want you to get a green card holder? So it's kind of strenuous. But for me personally, I had because Femi had already linked me up with people who were already in this school. The night I was coming, they came to the airport, pick me up. That's why I keep
Hmm.
emphasizing Nigerian community or Ghanaian community or African community. They came to the airport, they picked me up, carried my bags, helped me settle in, gave me food that night to eat. After traveling like 2 days on air without good food, and then you're seeing guys with chicken, salad. You know the feeling. Just try to imagine it. So it
Yeah.
was,
Yeah.
yeah, shout out to Ibukun did a lot of that for me. So um it's not easy trying to get an accommodation here. My husband's experience was way different. It was almost frustrating at some point. Yeah, but we had people that came through for him. That's why sometimes you have to have mentors, have mentors. He
Mm,
was the mentor that
mm,
came through for him. Shout out to him again. His mentor came through for him, linked him with somebody who was around his school. He stayed with the person for a bit and then moved to school because we had already paid for an apartment, but you have to pack in. You have to come, rather, move in on the 15th of that month, and he came in on the 3rd. So
mm,
sometimes they give you a particular date you have to move in. And you have to pay the full rent. Yeah. So you have to know the terms and the condition even before you book your flight. So immediately get your visa. Try to make all this research. Where do I stay? When you get in? When is your school accepting people to come? When is your apartment accepting people to come in? Do you have someone you can stay with? Because not when it's close to your resumption time, you start looking for all of this. No, because you might not see. Okay, so you need to start making inquiries. Immediately your visa comes, like you need to get your visa on your hand, start looking for where to stay. Because the earlier the
mhm.
better. Yeah.
Right. Yes, Emmanuel, it's LinkedIn we are talking about. Yeah, I've seen your question. Now, I like the way you are dropping the golden tips in a subtle way. And if you're a very, very careful listener, you'll be able to pick on some of these golden tips. Like she was saying, you have to have mentors, somebody to mentor you. And then she spoke about the fact that you have to use LinkedIn. And also, some things are not found on Google. So if you are a very careful listener, you are going to pick on some of these points, and your life is never going to be the same after this podcast.
Yeah.
So please, if you don't know anybody, don't just be sad about it. Oh, I don't know anybody in America. When I come, I'm going to suffer. That is why there's LinkedIn. That is
Yeah.
why you have to connect with people, get acquainted with people. And when you come here, these same people are the ones that are going to help you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's very, very essential. So what are some of the things that students are coming here? What are some of the things they should pack or prepare? Sometimes you come here and you realize that there are certain essential things that you are missing out on. What are some of the things that you think students should prepare themselves with or armor themselves with before they come here?
Okay, so for students, I know ladies like me, you're always particular about our stuff, our corner, our things. So one thing I
Yeah.
advise you carry a lot when you're coming is food stuff. Don't buy what you know you can get here. Like rice, don't buy all those things you can get here. Focus on the
Right.
ones you can. So that's why it's important you speak to people that are already here so that they can tell you, okay,
Right.
don't come with this. This is more expensive here. What you can get, okay, so I'm gonna use Naira. What you can get for like 1,000 Naira is about $10 here. That's about 10,000
Mm,
Naira, or let's say
yeah.
15,000 Naira. Okay, so those
Hmm.
things are like those things, that are what you like. I don't order foods. I don't eat food, their foods here, because I prefer to.
The pizza and the burger, and all, you don't
Yeah,
like those things.
except those ones. No, those are in Nigeria, but the ones that we know we were not eating in Nigeria, and then we have to
Yeah,
start eating those ones. No, I can't order those ones because I cannot eat
yeah.
them. So because I'm already used to my Nigerian food and my local dishes, right?
The
So I
eba
focus.
and all those, right? And the
Yes,
Nigerian jollof.
Nigerian that because I cannot get my Nigerian jollof in a restaurant here, or except I go to a Nigerian restaurant, which is not common here. So I have to cook mine at home, and I take my food to school and all that. So for those who can adapt, fine, you could actually order, but I've not adapted yet to their food. So I advise you bring your native food, yeah, that are dry.
Hmm.
Dry them and bring them here. Then also your in terms of clothing, you could come with your native wears, because you trust me, sewing here is expensive. And for ladies, come with your wigs, because making your hair expensive. Do you see
Yeah,
the
yeah,
price? So they're
yeah,
expensive. Come with your wigs, come with your native
yeah.
attire. The English boys can actually get them here. They're not so expensive. But
Hmm.
yeah, natives, but I don't say you should just pack native. But most times where you wear them, just your Sunday to church, and to like look your event, like your Ghanaian community events, your Nigerian community events, and all that. Yeah, but the idea is come with food stuff, and shipping an extra bag is expensive. You can pay like almost $400 and something just to ship an extra bag. So it's best you to
Wow.
2 bags. Yeah, 2 bags. Just from the 400 and something thousand, rather, not dollars. Ignore the dollars. So yeah, utilize your 2 bags. So even if you have to pay for an extra bag, it should just be one extra bag. Yeah, pack your food.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, it seems Vincent has a message for you. He's saying that.
Oh no, Vincent was actually a great support. Oh my God, I will talk about Vincent. Next question, I will talk about how Vincent really helped my job. Oh God, that thing. One thing you need to do. I know that some people are here and they've not really taken that, even thought about even applying to graduate school. I knew Vincent since 2019 when I got into Zenith Bank PLC. So he was one of my colleagues, and Vincent left Nigeria, I think 2020 or 2021. And since then he has been on my neck. Bridget, you have to
Oh,
meet.
he has Jackpot already.
He's in
Oh,
Arizona, one of the top civil engineering companies.
oh,
So
nice.
engineering guys, shoot Vincent some messages on LinkedIn.
Oh,
Vincent is a
yes.
person who can put you through on this. Vincent is very amazing. He was the one. He
Don't
was
let him sleep.
pushing me to actually apply to graduate school. So my journey is incomplete without Vincent. Yeah. So
Oh,
yes,
thank you.
have the right people around you. Like I said, you have to have the right friends, have the right people around you that can,
Yeah,
yeah, to actually, because it's not easy. At some point, you might be tired. That was what I would say, Bridget, I'm not doing again. That Bridget, you have to do this. Nigeria is not getting funny. So you have to push yourself and leave, because the opportunities here. Yeah.
yeah. I say thank you on behalf of Vincent.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so we talk about accommodation, right? Because we know that, fine, where you live is different from where you study. That means that you are going to be moving through a transport system. How was it for you when you came here? In America, is it necessary for you to have a car? Can you do the public transport that you do in Nigeria? Like, how is the system like with
Okay.
regards to transporting yourself to class?
Okay. Thank you for that question. So, regards to transporting yourself, if you're a student who is just coming, try to get school apartments. If you can get school apartments, you might not really need a car for like a year. But sometimes, of course, when you start earning expenses, you want to step up your lifestyle. So you might not
Hey,
get a car.
upgrade,
Danny, but among the big boys.
upgrade.
So they got like 2 months, 3 months. So yeah, so people try to get a car when they feel like they've gotten some level of funds to actually acquire one. So it's actually a necessity, because you don't want to keep calling people, when are you going to Walmart, when are you going to the mall, please let me tag along.
Yeah,
Sometimes you don't want to just do all of that begging and all that, or you want to book Uber or all of that. So sometimes you just want to get your own car and
yeah.
assist
And
people.
even the Uber is also expensive, right?
Uber is actually
Because
expensive.
taking it every time, no, you can't.
Yeah, so Uber is expensive. So car is a necessity. Trust me, car is a necessity here. Yeah, so some schools are way bigger. Sometimes even if you stay, like my husband's school, they stay outside campus, and buses, go through that place every 10 minutes. So some bigger schools, you might stay outside school and you still be fine. But schools that are not so populated, you might not really have, might be difficult for you to get to school without a car. So it depends on your school. Yeah. So but car is a necessity. As much as you can, try to get it as early as you can. Yeah.
No, that's true. And also these bus cards and all that stuff, using your card for to pick the bus, like the school bus and all that. I
Yeah.
think it's also essential that, yeah.
It's free. Your card, yeah, with your card, yeah, you're good. It's
Hmm.
free. Buses are free. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, because it's part of your school fees,
It's,
right?
yeah,
And you
student
have
fee.
even been given a scholarship. So you are
Yeah.
even taking the bus for free, in a
Yeah.
sense. Even though you are
Mm-hmm.
paying, in a sense, it's subsidized
Mm-hmm.
for you. So
Mm-hmm.
that's very good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to throw more lights on networking, how networking has been very essential in your life. I know we've touched a little bit on networking, but I still want us to just touch a little bit more. Networking, how has it helped you, from high school, from undergrad up until now? How is essential is networking for anybody that wants to become a study abroad student?
Okay. Thank you for that question. If you know me as like personally, you know on how big I am on networking. So at every point in time of my life, I always have people that could help me go through that phase, okay, or people I mentor or people that look up to me, because because one of the things I know about life is that for you to really get to where you're going to, you need people. No man is an island, right? So you need people
That's
to
true.
get to where you are going to. So as much as you can, don't think you can just stay on your own and get things work out for you. I know a lot of people that even as I'm here in America, they won't call me for problems in the UK, and then I make some one or two calls. Oh please, and they will get solution to it. Yeah, even when I
Yeah.
sometimes my siblings, for example, know that if they need something, they come to me because they know
Hmm.
that I have people to help solve that problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you no matter what it is, try to network. It's not
Hmm.
late, you can still start now. Network, talk to
Yeah.
people, and also be a solution provider. You don't just keep collecting and then you don't give back. So the idea is that you will give and will collect, right?
Oh
Be a
yes.
solution provider so that you can also have people who can reach out to you as well. You can also learn from people who you are mentoring, right? So
Hmm.
try to build up your network, yeah, because they are the ones that will help you while you're on this journey. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Charles, we're going to come to your question, but at this point in time, I want to talk about the fact that we do have a Telegram page. It's on Telegram. You search for "Coming to America," type everything together without spaces, and our group will pop up. Now, what we do on the group is that we do mock visa interview sessions where you can practice and pretend as if you are standing in front of a VO and answering visa interview questions, and it's for free. We hold sessions on Sundays, so you can join and then it's going to be a blessing to you. We are also on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music. We are on Samsung Podcast, Listen Notes. We are also on Pandora, iHeartRadio, Deezer, and a lot more, a whole lot of podcasts because we are taking this global and want people to learn and benefit from it in the long run. We also have a YouTube channel, Facebook. You might be watching on Facebook, YouTube. We have TikTok, and then we have X. Okay, now I just want to ask this. Have you made friends with other international students? How is it like? How is making friends like in the US?
Okay, so for me, I don't know. That's one of the difficult thing I've not really been able to conquer. Making friends with them,
Yeah,
trying to understand somebody who is not of your cultural background and trying to understand what you know it's been very difficult for me. I don't know how to explain it, but I've not been able to make a friend, and if an American as a friend. Most of them are like my acquaintances. If I see outside, oh hi, how you doing? How's semester going?
yeah.
But making like close friends, come visit me in my house, make some dishes together. No, I have not. Maybe Danny should be the right person because Danny is very jovial. He he's very jovial with a lot of them. Yeah. So, but
Yeah,
for me, now I've not been able to break that. Yeah. Some of them are actually very friendly. So it depends on the ones you
yeah,
meet. Some of them are very
yeah,
okay. There's someone in our department who is very
mhm,
friendly with everybody. So those ones are, yeah, you
yeah,
could actually. that to those ones. But some are not. Some are into inside their shells. They don't really relate. And I understand where is the environment to find ourselves. Yeah. So
Right. And sometimes it also depends on our temperament. And doesn't mean that the fact that you don't easily make friends is bad. It doesn't mean that it's just your temperament and how you
yeah,
relate with people. Yes. And oh, you remember this guy, Johnny?
yeah, Johnny. That I
Johnny.
mentioned. As I said, Johnny is somebody who you can actually.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So it depends. It depends on the people you
Yeah.
meet. Some are friendly. Some are not. Some they're not just your. They are different cultural. Have different cultural backgrounds and all that. So
Yeah, that is true. That
yeah.
is true. So we have now. I want to ask you this because Ambassador is asking this question. He says that during the visa interview, or the VO ask about accommodation. Tell us about your visa interview experience. What are some of the questions that you faced?
Okay. So for me, my visa interview was an easier process for me because I had the full funding. So I didn't have so much
Okay.
question. You just asked me what program I was going for, where I worked, how I should talk about my funding. Yeah, my phone, how I got my funding. It was pretty easy questions because I was fully funded. So fully funded quick just simply tells you that okay, this school wants you to be here. So most time
Right.
VOs will tell
And
VOs
they are
already.
even catering for the expenses.
Exactly, I'm catching for it. So why would you want to deny this person? So the only way the BO might deny you is because maybe you have a historical issues or you are not able to defend the reason why you should be there. So
That is
uh,
true.
me, it was kind of pretty easy because it was not pretty easy. It was grace of God. See, this whole journey, somebody might tell you, I got full funding, but I got denied. It's the grace of God. See, everything is God, 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 God all the way. Like you have to carry God in all what you are doing. You have to keep
Essential.
calling him back to back. Even when you get here, you keep calling him because you can't really understand these things. They are uncertain. You are not even sure if you get it. But why I keep saying mine was a bit easy was because God was in the picture. Okay, so
God
some
was on the picture. I like
who
that.
really denied are people who don't have full funding. So sometimes when somebody chatted me up, I was like, I don't have full funding. I'm like, don't bother wasting your money. It's not as if see, yes, there's faith. There's faith, and sometimes
Yeah.
you have to use
But
you
faith
have to
without works is dead.
he's dead. You understand? So you cannot say you have faith. You have
Yeah.
you know that. So don't. Why do you want to waste all the civics fee and then your flights and all that, and then still end up getting denied? So that's why, as I love that when I was going through my responses this morning, I was really happy. Danny is doing this now because this is like the peak period for applications. Like this is like you have to prepare your mind.
Hmm.
You're able to get it now, then you are going to come in next year. I know a lot of us here will come in next year after this podcast because is now is the time to start, right? So now it's time to
Yeah.
start. It is time to actually know whether you're going to get a full funding or not. If the information you get now is what will help you in the process, right? So
Yeah.
he said we need to actually start early. Okay, so for
True.
people who don't have full, I advise you just try and get full funding just so that you don't go through the emotional trauma of getting denied.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So as much as we
Yeah,
can,
that's true.
because that's one of the criteria to actually get your visa. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's one of the essential points that I wish I knew because when I got my 2018 rejection and 2019 rejection, it wasn't fully funded.
Mm.
And I was always worried, like, God, why? God, upon serving you all this while, God,
Yeah.
why do you disappoint me? But when I had a full funding, it made even the confidence in answering the visa interview questions like
Mm-hmm.
100%. Because you are confident, like, I have the money, I can school, I'm coming. The school wants me there.
Yeah.
So the confidence in your delivery is top notch.
Mm.
Compared when you are giving like 10% funding, you just
Yeah.
beginning. Why are you
Spend-
going to this school? And you are shivering because it's just 10%. There's no
Yeah.
confidence.
No
You know,
confidence. Yeah.
yeah. I like the fact that you said the peak period for application is now. 2025, I always say that 2025 is your year to come to America. Is your year to come and study in America. I shared even the post, Colorado State and then Minnesota. They were just opening free application.
Mm-hmm.
More than 70 schools around the years, more than even 100 schools. Free application everywhere, free, 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 free. And I was sharing them on my page. You see, so this is the time to take the opportunity to capitalize on these things, these free applications. Because application is like, how much did you pay in your application fee?
I think North Dakota had.
Or
I think.
you had free ones?
Oh, okay. Personally, I got scholarship for all my applications. That's why I'm like
Wow,
my journey was kind of a smooth one.
a
I didn't
very
spend,
smooth one.
like I said, everything has to do with information. If you have information, it's
Mm,
smooth, like smooth. You don't need to struggle
yeah,
to you don't need to bother yourself about a lot of things. So I got scholarship for my GRE, for my TOEFL, for my all my applications. Yeah, so I think North Dakota is like $35, which is kind of pretty cheap. It's one of the
yeah,
cheapest.
very, very cheap. Yeah, compared to other schools. Yeah,
Yeah, so that's good. And they have other scholarships you get when you get admission. So another thing, even after getting admission, there's some scholarships you have to get while you've gotten admission. Right? Apart from your
yeah.
normal stipend and TAs. And I said, just leave that
So
country and
give us a gist on that scholarship. Give us some more gist.
for me, like God has been faithful to me. See, I'm one of the outliers of this graduate school. I kind of
Yeah.
enjoying my there. Yeah, so I've not really struggled. Thank God, financially, God has been helping me. I've not been
Mhm.
struggling. I don't even do any other job apart from my RA, and I'm good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not feeling the
yeah,
stress.
yeah,
A lot of people come
yeah.
here and
No heat.
yeah, but I've not. If you look at me, you see, I'm not stressed. So,
I like that.
so yeah. So for the when you come into school, also look out for scholarship in school. You start getting publications when you have gotten into school. So because they know that a lot of people come into school and they have not settled down, so they miss out to those scholarships. Like for me, I got up to like 3 scholarships in less than like within a year. I got like 3 scholarships, right? So that's
Wow.
excluding monthly stipend. Now that thing is when you come here and you're not fully funded, you pay through your nose. Except you have a third
Yeah, that's true.
or your father or your mother is still funding for you. I know a lot of people that want to japa. Most of them don't, like, our parents have already told them, okay, you are done with your second university, sort yourself out. Like me, sort yourself out. We are done with paying for your funds and all that. Sort yourself out. So we have to like hustle. Yeah, see, I am a hustler, so we have to hustle my way with information, try make sure that I don't miss out opportunities, reading my meals back to back. So I'm going to like curious, I don't want to mention the money right now, but it is a whole
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah,
amount of money. Yeah. So sometimes you get rejections, but apply. Okay, don't be
yeah.
afraid.
It can ease up your living expenses and all
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
exactly. Apply. So when I go on, I told my stars, and then when I told okay, this one you can apply for this one, they're like the application is too much. I'm like, money doesn't come easy. You have to sit down to do those applications, right? So you have to
Yeah.
do those applications. Like I'm going for a conference next month. It's fully
Hmm.
funded. My flight is still taken care of. My hotel is taken care of. Everything is taken care of,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
I applied. I applied for it. If I had not applied for it, I would have gotten it. So you have to apply. If you don't apply, you don't get anything. So as much as you can, apply to many schools as you can. Apply for application fee waivers. Mail
Hmm.
schools. Do you give application before you even apply to the school? Ask the school for application fee waiver. Just be sure they don't have before you pay for it. And like I said earlier, please
Right. That's true.
about that school before you apply. Make sure they give funding in that your department, not general, in that your department before you apply, just so that you don't waste your money. There's no money. Dollar is expensive compared to our currencies, right? So you don't need to waste your money. So that's just my piece of advice.
Very, very essential.
Yeah.
Pay if they don't have. Sometimes it's good, free application is good if you get it, why not? But sometimes if you pursue free application and you're not getting it anywhere, look for a cheap one and pay. Just sacrifice, pay, especially when you have made email inquiries and then the professors are like, see, we have that opportunity.
Come.
Try and come, or we are going to give it to you, like try and come. Then you sacrifice and pay. But if you're like, oh, I'm not getting any free application, so I'm going to quit the process, you've already quit your dream of studying abroad. Okay, so sometimes go the extra mile and pay if they don't have that free. So I like that counsel that you've given
Let
us.
me,
Yeah.
let me just chip in something. So yeah, can you hear me? Okay. So
Yeah, I can hear you.
what I would say is like Danny said, try to pay, right? It's very important. I had a friend last year, she told me she applied to like 15 schools. They're all application fee waivers and she didn't get anyone. Yeah, they're all application waivers. So
Wow.
I'm not saying application fee waivers don't give. They give, but as much as you can,
Yeah.
as far as you know this department, they give funding. Let me just paying should be like your motivation, right? So motivate yourself, pay it and then wait for your full funding. Okay, so don't just say, okay, I didn't
That's
get
true.
application fee waiver, I will relax. No. So apply for it, go for it. I even had somebody who called me just on Friday and told me that no, like on Wednesday and told me that, oh, Bridget, I've spoken to my professor, try to apply to this my school. I told her about you, this. So it's more about people that you have around yourself, right? So
Mm.
once you have those people around you, you'll be able to, get to where you want to go to. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. And with the free applications, I realized one thing. There's always pressure
Pressure.
because there are about 10,000 to 100,000 people that have heard of it and they want to come. And
I
they're
mean,
all from countries that have bad, exchange rate. So imagine how many people apply for
I mean, people are picking the department. So
it.
in a
Yes,
nutshell,
and how many can they pay?
United States is one school I know that in every class for graduate students, not undergraduates, for graduate student, master's, PhD, master's students, you barely have 10, 12 people in a class. Unlike the
Yeah,
UK that you have
yeah,
1,700 in a class. But you see, for
yeah.
United, because they know that most of their graduate students are funded. So they won't want to fund a lot of
Hmm.
people. So in a class, you're going to have just 10 people, like 12 max self.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah, yeah.
and PhD,
I don't
just
think there's any class that we had where we're even more than 12.
exactly. So for PhD, you just pick two, three. So when you have a application fee waiver, you see a lot of people applying, shooting their applications. How many people do they want to pick? Okay, so it's good that sometimes those ones that don't even ask for application waiver, even shoot for those ones. Except you
Yeah.
just want to, you can just shoot for the ones that have application fee waiver. Okay, even if it comes, it comes. No problem. You can shoot for those ones, yes, but as much as you can
Hmm.
also for the ones that you are sure. So this should be your incentive. That you're sure that they give funding in that school. You are
I'm
sure.
sure this.
Yeah, you must be sure. Something should make you apply to those schools. A professor is telling you, okay, come to my school, I have funding for you, apply.
Hmm.
Those are like guaranteed that you are guaranteed that they're going to give you. And how will you know a professor wants you to come? You have to code mail. Some departments do not do code mail, some departments do code mail. So you have to be informed, but as much as still do code mails. Okay, professor, I need to apply to your school. There are formats of code mails. Like I told you, this process is you need a lot of research to be done. Trust me, it's not easy. Even as I'm talking
Hmm.
about getting drained. So you need a lot you need a lot of things to be done, while trying to get what you want. The aim is for you to come here, right? So everything that needs to be done, you have to tick all the buttons. Yeah.
That's true. Thank you. Thank you. And I also realized that with the delayed responses that come from these universities, sometimes it is because the amount of applications that were tended in are so many. So it's going to take a long while before they respond or come out with, admission news. So you are
Um,
waiting. Oh, admission is not coming. I applied 3 months ago. What? Sometimes these free applications are crowding the admission department. So
any small thing,
they're
yeah,
yeah, they're going to delay in responding. All right,
yeah,
so we will be going off shortly. I think yes, Emmanuel. Emmanuel is saying 12 in a class. Yes, back home we are like 100 in a class.
yeah. But of very comfortable environment. You have the teacher. That's another thing with United States. You have teacher-student relationships. Like I mailed
Yeah.
about three professors that I wanted them to recruit me. They all said yes. Because why?
Mhm.
We are not much. We're like few, and most people that want to do a PhD or an extra degree are few. So the
Yeah.
few ones that actually meet the professors, and most times they tell you yes. So imagine a class of 70 students and everybody's bombarding one person or two people because they're actually nice
Hmm.
and they're good in what they're doing. The person they will actually deny being a recommender for you because they don't want to kill themselves with straight. They have a lot of things going on at the same time, right? So
Yeah.
that's one request. You have very good education and you have lesser people in your classes. You relate to your lecturer more. Personal
Hmm.
relationships. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, Aaron inspires. Yeah. Thank you for the shout outs. He also does study abroad. So guys, you can also check out his channel. Aaron inspires. He also does what I'm doing. Now we want to be logging off with a couple of questions. I think there was one that I wanted to pick. Okay, so Charles was saying that what does it mean to have a full scholarship? What did your scholarship entail? What was the package? Did it cover health insurance? Did it cover this? What did it cover?
Okay, so mine covered my free tuition. I didn't have to pay for anything tuition.
No school fees. Yeah.
It came with school fees. Yeah, let me put it out. Full school
Yeah.
fees being paid for. Yeah, I had Yeah, I had a stipend attached to it. Stipend is like your monthly salary. Yeah, and it's usually attached with a role. Sometimes it's a teaching
Mm,
assistant, research assistant, graduate assistant. Yeah. And on LinkedIn, when you see something like graduate assistant, research assistant, teaching assistant, most people those ones are on funding. You don't even need to ask them, are you fully funded? They are fully funded, because for you to have a graduate assistant, most times they pay for your tuition. Or a teaching
yeah.
assistant, most times they pay for your tuition. So so mine was with stipend, monthly, yeah, monthly allowance. That's like a stipend, but they did not
Mhm.
cover a health insurance. You have to pay for your health insurance. Some schools with there you don't pay anything for health insurance. Those ones are like, oh my god, I wish they were not paying for health insurance, because sometimes when you're saving, you can pay for health insurance. You know that's why it's good for also to for you to also look out for
Mm,
scholarship in school. Yeah, so um
right.
yeah, so those ones covered, not covered for insurance, student fees, but it's, yeah, you just pay for those ones, just one off. It's one off payment, and then you still get your stipend. But there's no pressure, because you're still going to get stipend that could help you pay for those things. So there's no pressure, and of course, you know how
That's true.
don't spend extravagantly so that you don't get stranded here. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
it.
You're an international, so you don't want to be spending like a citizen.
You can't be
So
spending like
yeah. Your
X.
budget is tight. And that is why you can't even eat out just like that. You
Mm-hmm.
can't just go to restaurants every weekend like that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that's true. All right, guys, do like the video and also share with your friends while you have the time and opportunity. We are about to just wrap up, and I just want to ask one last question. If there are no more questions coming in, I'm just going to ask you one last question and then we wrap up. So, what message would you give to students who are coming from developing countries and they are dreaming of studying in the US, but they are hesitant or they are not sure? What message do you have for them?
Okay. So I think if you are coming from a developing country, I don't think you need to be motivated because your country alone, they had enough motivation. It's enough motivation for you.
Yeah.
So, but from my own decks, what I will be telling you is it is worth it. Every
Mm,
single pain, every single tears, every single effort,
mm,
every single sleepless researching, it is worth it.
yeah.
The money I have, let me use money, because I know that money is what motivates people a lot. The money I've made within 1 year, more than the money I've made
Mm,
like in 10 years of my life.
yeah.
In time, because I just started my life,
Yeah.
right? So it is worth it. It is worth it
Mm,
for your family, for your friends, not even for your family. Let me say for your family. You really need to leave the country and come and study here. It is worth it. And I have a friend. Let me just give you a typical example. Me, I'm still in school, right? I
sure.
have a friend 2021. He has bought a Tesla. So
Wow.
yes, a brand new Tesla. Okay, so
Wow.
this should be enough motivation for you to actually take that leap of faith and start your application. Trust me, you cannot buy
Mm.
a Tesla if you're in Nigeria. 2021 to now,
Oh, yeah.
you cannot buy it. Yes, it's okay. You cannot buy it, right? You cannot buy that, right? So this will give you an opportunity to, even whether it's you're paying with your credit card or whatsoever, but at least it's an opportunity to do that, right? So um leave the country, keep the keep the dream going. There's opportunity here. There's hope. There's a hope that, okay, if I'm finishing my masters, I'm going to get a job. There's hope. A lot of jobs are flying left, right, center. Everywhere there's job for you. Just that, of course, you go through a lot of rigorous process to get them. But of course, that's why we are doing the master's program, so that it can equip you, right? It can equip you to
Yeah.
actually competitive in those jobs. So while you're doing your
Hmm.
master's, find some degrees, some no, no, some certifications. You're attending conferences. You're writing some
Yeah.
articles. All these are happening while you are on the journey. So as much as you can, please leave the country. Right? And
Mm.
just this should be enough. What I've said today should be enough motivation. I try to make it very my own experience and what I have really had, or what I've gone through my life in the past 1 year. I'm trying to make it as
Right.
practical so that we can all fit our legs into my shoes, right? So as much as you can, just leave. It's strenuous, but try to join WhatsApp groups. There's some groups
Mm.
that help motivate people. There's some WhatsApp groups, on Telegram group, like what Danny just mentioned. You can like Danny's Telegram group, you can join those ones. From there, you can be getting links to other ones. If I tell you how many groups, I'm in almost 50 groups, and like like 40 are talking about graduate
Just
school.
fetching the infos from here and there.
Yeah, everything's about information. Like I said, information. I did a visitor visa for somebody. I was charged. I was telling my siblings I was charged almost 500,000 to do it, and that's about, let's say, $400 to do that same process I did, and I did it myself, and I didn't pay anything. I did it with my system. I was shocked.
Wow.
Yeah, I was shocked because I was like, oh, people are always worried saying B2 is difficult to get and all that. I did it with my system. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
YouTube has a lot of information, right? So you can do it yourself. I'm big on do it
Yeah.
yourself. I mean, I don't waste money because I studied
Mm-hmm.
economics. I don't waste money
Study
except
economics, so yeah,
that
scarcity of resources.
do it yourself. Don't give your money to anybody for anything. Make your
Mm.
information, your findings very, very well before you do anything. Like my sister wanted to get their transcripts, and they paid almost how much? It was quite expensive. I'm like, you have paid half of this money and you'd have gotten the same thing. So
Mm,
that's
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 good.
my kind of, because I try to be informed so that I can make the right decisions. Yeah. So as much as you can link up with people on LinkedIn, people who have the same goals with you, join some WhatsApp group, make friends with people who are doing the same graduate school applications. It motivates you. Yeah, do everything as early as you can. Don't do it on deadline. Avoid deadlines. Do it as much so that you don't put yourself under unnecessary pressure, and then you get what you want to get. Yeah. So that's my
Nice.
yeah.
Nice. Thank you for that. Now, follow me. Daniel says, thanks, Bridget. This cold emailing of a thing. How does one know the school that expects cold email? So it's supposed to be cold as in hot and cold. Okay, he says, I've mailed some before now, but didn't welcome it. Can you give an answer to him? And then I also contribute my
What I would say
concept.
is, like I said, before you do stuff like that, ask people that are already in the school. LinkedIn, so in case you're asking how, LinkedIn is a good platform. Chat people that are in the school. Please, do you not need to code mail the people? Like my school, you don't need to. Danny, do you need to code mail anybody in my school? I don't think you need
Not
to.
necessarily, no.
Once you get your
Yeah,
offer, your funding comes with your offer, so you don't need to code mail.
yeah,
If
it
you are
comes with it. Yeah.
my school, you don't need to code mail. So that energy you'd have used to code mail without any information, it's best to use that energy to get information before code mailing. Okay, so try to, yeah, I think that answers it perfectly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So if a school or a professor doesn't welcome it, we can move on to the next, right?
Next one.
Yeah, there are some schools that welcome, some will not welcome. And like Bridget said, it takes a lot of hard work and research. Okay. But then if you have someone guiding you, have a mentor, it also makes things easier for you. Jolly is asking my Telegram. So you simply go to Telegram and type coming to America, type everything together without spaces, and you see the group. Okay, so with the absence of any more questions, that will be a wrap up for today's episode of the Study Abroad Experience podcast. And I hope you found the insights that were shared here very, very helpful and inspiring. Remember that everyone's journey and story is unique, and you
Mm-hmm.
have to craft your own story. Make the most of it. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, share with some friends. You can also go back and listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all the other podcasts that I have available. So stay tuned for more stories. Hopefully, if I don't bring a guest on next week, I'm going to bring one on surely in the next 2 weeks. I'm still arranging one or two things, okay, so that I can bring another episode to you. So stay tuned for more stories from international students who have first-hand experience when it comes to studying in the US. Keep exploring, keep learning, keep chasing your dreams, and thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. I believe you're enlightened by this podcast session. Don't forget to stay connected as I'll be bringing you more episode after episode. This is a Study Abroad experience. Then a legend here.